Hi, this is Bree with Cosmic Siren. Welcome back to another pick a card reading. This is a safe space for my quirky and curious souls. We're going to look at messages and guidance for the month of August, the Cosmic Siren way. And underneath each of these cards, which I will reveal in each pile, there is a song lyric message. So take all the time you need, pick between 1, 2, and 3, and I'll get started with group number 1s. Hey group 1s, this will be your reading and messages for August. We're going to look at the main theme of healing for your month of August. We're going to take a look at the cosmic creature for you to connect with and guide you on how to shift your way of living and moving through life for this next month. We're going to look at the energies to let go of this month, and then the energies you will be receiving and taking in. And then we're going to look at some guidance on how you can integrate this healing and any closing messages from your higher self. So let's take a look. Okay, you got lightning. And when I rolled the die and you got 20, so I shuffled 20 times. And the song that you got was It'll Be Okay. It's by Shawn Mendes, but the one that it came through was this cover by Rachel Gray. I recommend you listen to it. And these were the messages that stuck out, the lyrics that stuck out the most to me during the reading. If you tell me you're leaving, I'll make it easy. It'll be okay. It might be so sweet. It might be so bitter. I will love you either way. And I'll just keep this to the side and we'll go over this in a little bit. So lightning, I'm just going to read from the guidebook a little bit. I like the guidebook's message from this. And lightning is 18, so if 18 or 20 are significant numbers for you, or they could be dates. Sudden changes and challenges ahead, be cautious. A force to be reckoned with, the beautiful Egyptian goddess Isis brings love and awakening of spirit by breaking old change and shattering outdated belief systems. Isis opens your heart to receive true love and healing through empowerment and movement. You must shift old perceptions and evolve like the caterpillar. Anything that is outdated and no longer serves you needs to be shed now. This awakening is powerful and confronting. To shift stuck karmic debris, subconscious patterns, and emotional DNA, you must crack your heart exterior with energy direct from source. This intense moment may feel as if your heart is breaking. However, for you to achieve new levels of love, you must break concrete beliefs that have held you back. Address any issues surrounding grief and loss with professional assistance. Breakthroughs are now possible. Isis is the gatekeeper of this love energy and requests the presence of your soul to accept this new integration. This expansion of your heart will intensify how you feel and share love with others, adjusting to a new level of love. You will connect more deeply with others and see their heart in all its beauty. Right now, you must take action. You must push forward with passion, open yourself to new ideas and meaningful conversations. Get out there and meet people. And there's more, but that's like the general message that I feel called to read. Your affirmation is, I am ready to take action now. The power of love sets my soul free as I grow with gratitude. And I think that was a good message, for the month of August. It's saying, as you're coming into this next month, there is this idea of, you are expanding, you're growing, you're shifting, right? And like this Isis with the wings, reminds me of like Earth Angel. You are expanding the way that you show up in the world, how you express yourself authentically, how you step into love. And society and traditions show us how we should act, right, in certain situations, in certain relationships, how we can show affection, how we can show love in certain dynamics. And it's telling you in general and in relationships and all your connections to break those traditional norms, right? To break whatever old perceptions or ideas you've had. It's this idea of we are conditioned since young to think a certain way, have certain perspectives depending on where we grew up, who we surrounded ourselves with, what we were exposed to, what information we were exposed to, where we went to school, what we've learned. And it's important to remain open for the for this next month, or in general too, but just to remain open to things shifting and changing. We can get so caught up in how things always used to be, right? How things were laid out traditionally, how they used to be. And there's nothing wrong or inherently wrong or right with necessarily tradition. There is this idea though of just because a group of people have fought one way for so long doesn't mean that it's supposed to be that way forever, right? It fit their narrative at the time, it supported them at the time, but there's this importance of being more flowy like water, right? Being more flowy, being able to ebb and flow and take in new information, constantly shift your perspective, and intuitively just live life, right? We don't want to stay stuck in our concrete opinions or perspectives because it can shift at any time. And being able to be more open to the flow of change will help support us as we live. We're constantly growing, we're constantly changing. You don't have to stay as you are because people have looked at you that way for so long, right? You're allowed to change, you're allowed to grow, you're allowed to shift. And there's this idea of connection, right? This lightning, the lightning is touching everything around it, right? And the light is spreading through. And it kind of looks like gemstones here, these rocks. It's like, make sure that it's that idea again of expressing yourself, shining your light, and feeling connected with everything around you, like being very intentional with where you're spreading your wings, being intentional with your actions and your choices and what you're doing this next month, right? If you have been maybe more on autopilot, or maybe if you have just been in your routines and your daily routines, and we can get kind of caught up in how we normally do things, it's important for this next month to just be a little bit more intentional with everything you're doing. Just take a little second to stop and think and say, why am I doing this? Like, it's just a quick little thing, like when you get up during the day, for example, and you decide to brush your teeth, let's say. I mean, you're probably brushing your teeth, hopefully, but maybe when you brush your teeth, just simply having that intention of, my teeth and gums are clean and healthy. Like, that's just like a quick little affirmation you can do when you're brushing your teeth. And you can expand on that, right? That was just a quick, easy one since you're brushing your teeth, but you can expand that to a different affirmation, whatever you want for your day in the morning. I'm going to have a light and bright, loving day. I'm going to laugh and have fun, while you're brushing your teeth. It's just that second of intention that can really shift your day. All right, that's just the general messages. Let's look into more. Let's look into the cosmic creature for you to connect with this month on how to move about life, live life, how to shift your way of living. All right. And we got the toucan. Let me move that a little bit. With the toucan, the first thing I thought was, well, colorful, but also talking, right? Speaking. And it kind of connects with the lightning, when you're spreading your light, shining yourself bright out into the world. With the toucan, I feel like it's through communication, it's through talking, right? How can you express yourself more, not just outwardly, physically, but through communication? How are you talking to others in any of your relationships, right? The way you express yourself, how you talk, your word choice, your mannerisms, not that you should be like acting or something, but it's just more of like paying attention of the way you talk to people. In what ways are you hiding yourself? Are you not expressing yourself, right? The toucan is a very colorful bird, very different and unique, but stands on its own feet. And it's this idea of, your way of talking is unique to you. It's colorful and different and vibrant, and it does capture people's attention, right? The way you speak. And that could be through anything. Maybe it could be like, you're very loud and vibrant, and so the energy fills a room. Or it could just be that your ideas are very unique and colorful, you know, right? They're very different. They expand people's minds. You know, they might be thinking more about the day-to-day and, you know, more mundane things, which is fine. And you might like talking about bigger concepts, interesting concepts, esoteric concepts, spiritual concepts, anything, creative concepts, maybe about your passions in life. But it's this idea of when you are expressing yourself, you know, shining your light and feeling connected with everyone and those around you and everything around you, right? Pay attention more to the way you communicate. So throat chakra work. It's important that you don't hide your voice, right? Because your voice matters, right? Your feelings matter, your thoughts matter, your perspective and opinions matter. And when you share that, other people that might feel similarly can connect to that, right? Or even if they don't feel similarly, but they are curious about it, they can connect with that energy, right? It's the idea of, again, you know, shining as bright as possible so that people can find you, right? Because they're looking for that specific energy, and also so that you can push away and blind those that don't appreciate your energy. Let's pull the rest of the cards just so we can get a better picture of everything. Let's look at the energy for you to let go of this month. Oh, good. Came out fast. Okay. And we'll look at the energy you're bringing in. I'm gonna move this over here. Okay. So, yes, this idea again of, so the energy you're letting go of, 7 of Coins. In this card, it looks like, you know, they have spent a lot of time, effort, and preparation for this important ceremony, right? It takes time to gather wood. It takes time to express themselves appropriately, you know, do whatever rituals that they must do, gather all the people, but it's this big orchestrated thing, right? It takes time, energy, and effort. And it takes intentional time, energy, and effort, right? Every little piece that they choose to do, how they choose to express themselves is very intentional because it's very important for the whole thing. And that goes well with what I was saying before about being very intentional in your actions and what you're doing for the next month. The 7 of Coins energy is putting in all this investment, intentional time, and you know, you're right on the edge of thinking like, is this gonna amount to anything? Is this working? Am I doing something? You know, it's a very slow pace energy. And since it's in this position of what to let go of, it's this idea again of tradition and norm, right? You've spent all this time, energy, and effort. Let me see, let's pull one more card just to see, this could be in general, but, and this is a collective reading, but let me just pull one more card to see like what area of your life this pertains to. Oh, okay. King of Coins. So, oops. So for some of you, well, let's go back to this, but it's this energy of letting go of this. You spent a lot of time, energy, and effort into building something, right? This could be in relationships, this could be in career, this could be in hobbies, it could be, you know, anything. And you've done it a certain way, right? You've spent all this time, energy, and effort, and you've done it kind of a particular way. And they're saying to let go of that, right? Let go of these, I think I said this earlier, let go of these notions of tradition and norms and how you think you should have done it or how you've always been, right? You're letting go of that energy of, especially like this, right? This is like more like this cultural tradition in nature, right? Like very tradition, right? They're not doing anything outside of the norm. Like their choices and customs, you know, are through generations of tradition. And yes, let's let that pass. Okay, it's passed, but that's important, right? It's this thing about tradition, energy and tradition, kind of like Hierophant. It's, you know, you spent all this time, energy, and effort into this, and that's what it wants you to let go of for this month. You know, letting go of these old ways of doing things and thinking that it has to be this way just because there's been so much time spent doing it, and instead trusting your intuition, right? And I said that earlier. It's like trusting your intuitive nudges. Instead of doing something, you know, by the books or what have you, trusting how you feel, right? It's third eye. If there's something you envision for yourself, whatever your intuition looks like, right? It could be in any of the senses. You can see, hear, taste, touch it, whatever. But trusting those little messages, right? You trust in the intuitive messages that come to you. In the morning, if you feel like, you know, instead of stretching right now, I really feel called to color. You know, maybe you'll stretch later. I don't know. But I really feel called to color right now. I just need to color and express. Like, you can trust that, right? You may think it's small, and you might be like, no, that's not my routine. I have to stretch. I have to do this first, and then I have to brush my teeth, and then I have to make breakfast, and then I have to do this because the routine works. And yes, sometimes, you know, routines can help us. It can support us. It's saying for this next month of August, be a little more open, be a little more flexible. If you have, you know, time, maybe you have an hour in the morning or so, if you have time to switch things around just by intuition, like, you'll still get to all your little things. You're just switching the order based on how you feel. Just trying to do things more open and flexible and trusting that. Because you may think like, well, why does it matter? Well, it matters because your feelings matter, right? You're feeling in that moment, for whatever reason, you're feeling called to do that. And just you trusting yourself, listening to yourself and saying, I'm going to do this because I feel like I want to, I trust in my intuition, therefore I am. That's like powerful. That energy is powerful. You listening to yourself and then doing that means that you are taking aligned action, right? And for August, that's what it is. You want to take intentional, aligned action based on your intuition. This is not more about planning. It's more about feeling, trusting, doing, right? Because there's a reason. For you in the moment, it may not seem maybe very big. Like, you might think like, well, this doesn't really matter. I got to it anyway. But it's an energy thing, right? The universe is watching you, listening, and feeling your vibration of, I trust in my intuition, therefore I act in this path, right? We can be on a path and do things in routine and we keep going, right? And it's watching you like, oh, they're on this routine path. That's fine. There's also this path of trusting yourself. It's just the path of trust. Like, this person is on this path where if they feel something and trust it and then do it, you know, it's just like taking aligned steps. And living that way, like following your body, following your intuition, following that guidance and acting like that, that's the energy you want to be in. Not because someone told you to, not because you're forcing yourself, not because you wrote it down, but because you actually feel like you want to. You know, you're trusting yourself. All right, I'm blabbing. But so some of you, yes, like, I mean, a lot of you, it's going to be the day-to-day. For some of you, it is going to be work-related. King of Coins. It is the way that you have decided to, it's not just like work-related though, it's like, yes, it is. Some of you, it's work-related specifically. Like, depending on what type of career or role you do, there are like certain procedures and standards that you have to follow, right? So we can't really get away with that. However, if there are certain aspects to your job or work where you can do it differently just because you can, you know, it's not going to affect anything, but you're not because it just was never done, right? It's just the way it has always been and no one's ever questioned it, right? Maybe you've followed your mentor's or boss's way of doing things and it just works. So you're like, well, what is it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Wait, no. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Wait, is that the thing? Whatever. But I don't know why that's coming through. So maybe some of you live by that rule. And like, yes, if it's not broken, you may not need to do anything. However, just because something's not broken doesn't mean it's thriving, right? Like, something can just be existing, not broken, but that doesn't mean it's like flourishing. And this tree is flourishing. This tree is standing very tall, beautiful flowers. It is flourishing. And the way it's going to flourish is through you trusting your intuition, not because of customs and rules and regulations. Like, yes, you can look at that, keep that, what have you, depending on whatever this work situation is. But also, you can put your own spin and flair on it, right? Like we said, like the toucan. In your work or anything in life, right? You have a colorful way of thinking showing up. Like, your voice matters. I already said, like, throat chakra. You expressing your voice, expressing your ideas is going to paint the world so colorfully. Your workplace, whoever around you. Like, maybe someone never thought of it before. And they're going to connect with you, right? It's not that they're going to dismiss it. Like, you are someone that people respect and admire. You have that type of energy and role. And your ideas, like when you share them, it's going to impact those around you. It's going to impact the environment. And that's why it's so important to not hide yourself. And, you know, the intuition is colorful again. You know, it's like, maybe some of you, it's like more body focused. It could be a feeling thing, but it doesn't have to be. But trusting, you know, your perspective, your opinions, how you feel about something, and sharing it, because you never know what good ideas could shift something for someone, change something for someone, change the workplace or anything else around you. And also, for some of you, this is a specific relationship. It's this message of it goes back to the song, you know, if you tell me you're leaving, I'll make it easy, it'll be okay, it might be so sweet, might be sweeter, I'll love you either way. It's this, in this song, you know, she sings about holding on so much to this relationship, to this person. And there's this lyric of, if we can't stop the bleeding, we don't have to fix it. Yeah, it'll be okay. It's, for some of you, there's this relationship where you invested a lot of time and energy in, right? Like a lot of time and energy. This is a long-term one. And you wanted it to flourish, you wanted it to bloom, you wanted it to grow, and you aren't letting go of it because of all the time and effort and energy you put in, and that's fair, right? And it's just that message again of earlier, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but that doesn't apply here. It's, you know, some relationships, like, there's two messages here. It's like, you've spent so much time and energy and you're staying so long in this connection and it's no longer serving you, right? For whatever reason, that's up to you. You know, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is for some of you. It's not serving you anymore. It's stagnant, it's stale. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, but it's stale, it's not flourishing. Some people wait till it's bleeding. Some people wait till it's so painful and hurting so much that they can't go on, that they're broken, to make a change, right? They wait till it gets that bad and draining to make a change because they don't believe anything else should be left. And this is the idea of, I told you, it's just because something's not appears broken, right? If it doesn't outwardly have any big giant holes that you can see, right? It doesn't mean that it's flourishing. There's this, some of you are in a very stale and stagnant relationship where the energy isn't very supportive. There's no passion, there's no fun, there's no creativity, there's no love. It's just stale. It's just, you're together because it's been so long, and there's that sense of trust and loyalty and respect, maybe, depending on your relationship. But just because you've been in something for so long, just because society tells you, you know, you're married or something, doesn't mean you have to stay in it. Like, people are like, well, I said through sickness and in health, and I would choose you. And it's like, but is the other person choosing you too? Are you both choosing the relationship? Like, if it's so stale, if it's not flourishing, if the energy is just stagnant and it doesn't feel like you can breathe, it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, it's not taking flight, it's not colorful, it's not something you look forward to, right? It's just there. It's just because you're used to it. It's just there. Are you guys really choosing each other? Like, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel loved. You deserve to feel supported and respected. You deserve to have fun. You deserve to look forward to this relationship every day. I feel like some people think it's a fantasy or a dream to just be so happy and high vibration and love in their relationship, and it's not. It's not a fantasy or a dream, it's real. You can trust that, and you deserve that. So if it feels stagnant to you, that is reason to look at it, right? How long has it been stagnant for? Is there something you guys can do? Is there something you can talk about? Maybe you tried, but that is a message for some of you. You know, leaving that idea behind that just because I spent so much time, energy, and effort that I have to keep it forever, right? You're moving more into trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. I'm sure you know how you feel each day. I'm sure there are messages coming to you, whether you're ignoring it or not, but you can trust your intuition on the next move to take, the next step to take, right? You're trusting yourself more rather than other people. Rather than the process and the investment in other people, you're trusting yourself. Because remember, at the end of the day, you are the one living your life. You are the one that feels what you feel, and your feelings matter. If someone is telling you like, oh no, it's all in your head, no. Only you know how you feel. You trust yourself. Trust yourself. Okay, let's look at the activity you can do to integrate this energy to help you out. And we got candles. Oh, yeah, that's good. Candles are so nice. Candles will also help you just connect more with your body and your senses. You know, picking out candles that have certain fragrances can really help you. What are those called? Essence. Why am I blanking? You know, like in the diffuser. I'm blanking on the word. My words escape me. But you know, like lavender or orange, frankincense. There's so many different smells and aromas that support different things, different ways of healing. Candles are very nice too. I have this, oh, it's kind of hot. This one's the Egyptian moonstone. Enlighten. But whenever I light it, it feels so calm. It helps me connect with myself. It feels really good. And it's very warm. You can also, to help you just trust your intuition and help your third eye, you know, you can look up some YouTube videos if you want on candle flame meditation. You can stare at the candle, you know, at a safe distance. Go look it up. A safe distance away, you know, you can stare at the candle for like 5-10 minutes. You know, ask yourself a question first. Ask a question, you know, ask spirit for guidance and stare at the candle 5-10 minutes. You know, be alone, take some deep breaths, and, you know, close your eyes and listen to the messages. Listen for the guidance, and it can come in any different ways. And this will also just help you like raise your vibration and feel good. Candles smell good, they feel good, they look good. You know, changing all of your senses, right? It's important that we, you know, some people are like, oh, it doesn't matter, but I don't know if you guys have played Sims, but in Sims, the way you decorate, like it does help like the sim characters, the way they look at their environment. If there's like trash, if there's not a lot of decorations, blah, 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 like it can go negative. So it's this important of like, you know, just because you deserve to look at pretty things and feel really good, right? And we're just gonna take some closing messages from your higher self. Forbidden Fruit, Apple. This one is my new herbiary deck, so I will read from the guidebook. Apple has been given grief since in the beginning. When she learned that feeding people and teaching them to know themselves can be a dangerous thing, she became associated with snakes, shame, and fig leaves, and it's been all dance lessons, curtsies, and domestication from there. Apple is the witch of the wildwood, forced to clean up and come in for tea, but a skirt and pumps can't hide her knowledge of the circling stars and cycling seasons, the deep loam of the earth and the warm weep of a summer rain. We may think that we've tamed wild Apple and brought her to heal, but even quasi-domesticated, she still gifts us with the sweetness of understanding ourselves. Apple asks, what have you forbidden yourself? The ritual is step into sensation. What is self? We tend to define it narrowly as our thoughts, our relationships, or our jobs, but Apple knows that getting to know ourselves is a multidimensional process. The self begins in our physical body and everything it can feel, taste, see, hear, and smell. For this ritual, Apple asks us to focus on sensation. And then reflection, hidden desires. We try to tame things that scare us. Self-knowledge is no different. We hide our deep wisdom, our intuition, our needs and desires under a layer of occultation, refusing to acknowledge what we consider inappropriate or grandiose. These hidden knowings and longings are snakes in the garden. Do you stifle your body when it wants to move in certain ways? Do you choke back your voice when it wants to chant or sing? Do you eat what you're supposed to instead of what your body craves? Do you listen to the quiet voice of your intuition? Do you have thoughts that feel like snakes in the garden, pointing you towards embarrassing or dark truths? That is a beautiful and just literal, that message perfectly sums up everything that I was saying. You know, it's when I was saying like your routines, it's moving by intuition because your body just wants to. You're listening to yourself, and that's what it is, the energy, listening to yourself. You know, don't hide your voice, share your perspective, share your thoughts, share your feelings in the workplace and just in your relationships in general, right? Because that's you coming out, living that way, like letting go of this traditional energy of, you know, tradition, norms, staying hidden, and stepping into who you are, which is an intuitive being, and trusting that. And this can help you by candles. Oh yes, and it was perfect. It said, you know, stepping into your body and your senses, and that's what I was saying about the candles. The candles will help you connect with your body and your senses. I was talking about the aromas. This literally, yes. So this message was perfect. And this, so for some of you, very specific, it was for that relationship. It might be so sweet, it might be so bitter. I will love you either way. And it's this message also of just in general for everyone and all your connections. It's letting go with love, right? When we connect with people, have our relationships, there's sweet moments, there's bitter moments. You know, that's just the way of life. It's all those experiences, and you don't have to leave someone because you hate or even dislike them. And I think that's what people have a hard time doing. You can love someone and leave because the relationship doesn't serve you. And that's a message for some of you. I mean, all of you should take that, but that is an important message. It's okay if you leave someone you love because the relationship isn't serving you, right? All right, well, that is all the messages that I have for you, pile one. Thank you so much for connecting with me. If you want to continue connecting with my energy and to be a part of the collective, please continue to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when all my readings come out, and like or comment on the message so I know what resonates or hit for you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. As always, sending you warm wishes and soothing hums. Hey Pile 2, this will be your reading, your guidance and messages for August, the Cosmic Siren Way. We will look at the general theme of healing for the month. We'll look at the cosmic creature for you to connect with. To see messages about shifting your way of living for this next month, we'll look at the energies to let go of, and then the energies you're receiving and bringing in. And then we're just going to look at some more guidance on how you can integrate this energy and some closing messages from your higher self. And you got manifestation. Great. Love that. And so when I rolled the die, you guys got, I think it was 1, right? Yes. Sorry, it was all messy, so you got 1. So I rolled the die and I got 1. So I shuffled my song list I have just once. And you got the Spanish song. I don't know if that's significant for any of you, but I do recommend you listen to it. Oh, sorry, my handwriting. So Vas a Quedarte by Aitana, A-I-T-A-N-A. But the message is, you're going to stay because I swear that this time I'll take care of you. You're going to stay. I'll do everything to make you fall in love again. I always knew and said nothing. I wanted to scream it out, but I said nothing. People will say that I'm crazy because you're in my head. We'll get to that later. That was the English translation, by the way. But let's start with this. And I'm just gonna read a little bit from the guidebook because I really like the messages that it has. I can find the guidebook. All right. You're a wizard, Harry. You know, I think this month also, you know, it's giving, you know, magician vibes, you know. Oh, and also, the magician is the first tarot card, you know, Fool 0 and then magician. So I'm going to read from the guidebook, but just right off the bat, the message is, you know, trusting in yourself that you can make anything happen, that you are a wizard. Like, you can use all of your, what does manifestation mean? It means you have desires, you have a goal that you envision, your life that you envision for yourself, right? It's in your head. It's in your third eye. It's in your imagination. And you want to bring it to life. There are tools, resources, connections, people, and anything in your life in your power that you can use to make it a reality. And that's what that is, right? It's not just like snap your fingers and it shows up. It's, I am a wizard. I use all of my skills and gifts and tools and resources to bring what I want to life, right? Like, yes, it's magic, and also it's tangible. All right, let's look at this. And manifestation is 19, so 19 or 1 could be significant for you. Those could be dates. Release control, evaluate your priorities. The wizard is a symbol of magic and manifestation whose power is activated harmoniously through the mind and heart. Bridging humanity with the world of spirit, the wizard borrows the power of the universe to direct and enhance energy to a specific task, healing, or outcome. A wise wizard is loving, spontaneous, and transparent. With intelligence and an open heart, the wizard is able to help all people, himself included. The wizard does this by harnessing the power that is all around him, without expectation. The wizard allows the beauty of magic to come through him rather than trying to control and manipulate it. An open and trusting heart is a refined tool of perception. Right now, you have the power to manifest your dreams into reality. With pure thoughts and intention, you can create magic in the world around you. Allowing energy to flow through you with ease and with purpose, you can create a magical life. Learn to share your natural gifts with others. You are here to help humanity in a positive way. Refrain from sharing your personal intentions now, as they will be easily influenced with others' distorted energy. You have the power to create and shine your light upon the world. And examine your thought patterns and energy and amplify your intentions. Your affirmation, I am a conscious creator of the energy around me. My heart and mind are unified in spirit. Yeah, and also, I think, yeah, see, the wizard borrows, you know, the energy of the universe and directs it, right? It doesn't come out of thin air for the wizard for this, right? And I think that was an important message about being very intentional with energy, because for manifestation, for, you know, the life you envision for yourself, it's important that you raise your vibration to how you envision yourself, right? That vibration of your dream life. And to do that, it's very important that you pay attention to energies in general. What energies are draining you, your thoughts and your patterns, like, they all have energy. Everything is energy, right? Objects are energy, people are energy, everything's energy. So that's why it's important to pay attention to, like, what energy you're allowing in your life and what energy that you need to let go of. That doesn't fit the life that you want. That doesn't fit what you want to manifest for yourself. I'm gonna pull the rest of the cards so we can get a better peek at everything. So let's look at the cosmic creature for you to connect with, for you to shift into their way of living. We got camel. Egypt again. You know, the first group, their card, it was talking about Isis, which is Egypt, and the camel, and you have Egypt. I have an Egyptian moonstone is the name of this candle. So I wonder if any of you guys have like a particular connection or longing to visit Egypt. There might be some messages for you. Oh, let me move this away. All right, we'll get back to that in a second. Let's pull a card for the energy that you're letting go of this month. The energy group 2 is letting go of this month. And the energy you're bringing in. Okay. I'm beautiful, I'm worthy. Okay. Oops. Okay, so let's go with the camel, the animal for you, or the cosmic creature for you to connect with, to shift your way of living for the next, what you can shift into for the next month. With the camel travels, you know, far places. They carry a lot of tools, right? They hold the water and the knapsacks, whatever you call it, luggage for the people, right, riding on them. And the camels also like hold a lot of water, right? They can go long distances without water because they like store it, right? And again, it kind of speaks again to this energy of the wizard, right? That camel has to be the camel has to be intentional, but there's this idea of being very intentional with your resources, right? What you're using. Like, for example, the camel only has so much water and it has to travel, you know, long distance, long places, and then it has all the stuff. And then someone else is connecting with that, right? Like the person that's with the camel. I mean, I guess if the camel's alone, it's just living, but it's just existing. But I'm thinking about it more as, you know, someone is with this camel, using the camel, but there's this idea of using all the resources that you have to get you to where you need to go. So and it's that idea again of being very intentional with your energy, right? Being very intentional with your next steps. And also, it's with energy, there is this idea also with the 2 of coins, of balancing your energy and time, your investment. So yes, use all the tools and resources that you can. And also though, like I was saying, pay attention to your energy, you know, what's serving you, what doesn't. Where are you placing your energy? And also, like, who are you manifesting for, right? It should be, you know, for yourself in your life. And then of course, if you know, connect with others, love others, you know, family, friends, partners, what have you, and you want to build a life with them, of course. I don't mean like be selfish. I just mean like make sure you're connecting with your values and what you envision for yourself and what you want out of life. You might be giving your energy away a little bit with the 2 of coins. It's like this person, right, is balancing these 2 children. In the picture, I assume, you know, these are her children, right? She's balancing time, energy, affection, support, her emotional, mental, spiritual well-being for these 2 dependents, right? And that's the energy you're supposed to let go of. This idea that you are the only person that people can rely on. And I'm not talking about specifically dependents, because of course, you know, depending on who you have in your life, dependents, you know, little ones or maybe older ones that need support, there is a certain level of, you know, of yourself that they require for them to thrive, right? Especially when they're young. But it's more of this idea of believing that you are the only hope for people or others, right? Depending on your situation and where you are in life, you know, people may depend on you when they don't need to, right? Let's talk about more like older adults, or I mean like adults, or, you know, like high school, college kids don't need you, right? Like, of course, like depending on your situation, right? And we're talking about like able-bodied, mentally able, like, you know, we're not talking about like people that really need help. That's like a whole nother conversation. But even then, you still deserve your own time and energy, and you have to love yourself first, right? Fill your cup before you help others, right? People can get caught in this caregiver role, even when you do have dependents. People can get caught in this caregiver role of I must sacrifice my everything and burn myself, like light myself on fire to keep others like warm and surviving. And that's not true for any situation, right? And, you know, it's important, like, even if you have little ones or older ones and they need your help, right? You have to make food, of course, you know, that's makes sense. Or you have to bathe them. Like, do you have help? Do you have connection? Do you have a partner that's helping you? Are you a single parent? Do you have family or friends that can help you? It can feel like you're doing it all alone. But also just taking some moments to yourself, maybe while they're sleeping or maybe when they're at school. It's just taking those small moments of yourself just to like empower yourself to give yourself back that time, right? If they're in school, then you have all that time that they're in school to love yourself, you know, pour into yourself. Maybe you go to work. Okay, so for some of you, there is this tricky situation. So I'm not going to get too caught up on that because there's so much about that, and this is a collective reading, so we can't get too much into that, but because I won't tell you how to live your life. But you know, it is important, no matter what's going on, it is important that you pour love into yourself just as much as you're pouring into others. And that's what I want to get to is in general, is especially with like able-bodied people, right? These are adults. Maybe you are in any type of dynamic, friend, platonic, romantic, whatever, familial, where they're able to do anything. Like, honestly, they are able, but they're relying on you for whatever reason. You've come into a situation where you've decided to, you know, take everything on you, the chores, the, you know, preparing meals or buying food, you know, doing errands and loving on this person that's with you, and you're doing it all because you believe you should, as a whatever narrative or story you set in your head, like, because I am, like, maybe like, oh, they can't, or they do it wrong, or, you know, they just need my help. But no, empower yourself. They can do it themselves. We're talking about, you know, able-bodied people, but they can do it themselves. This idea, energy, why I'm saying this is because we talked about looking at your energy, being intentional, looking at energy drains, because the life that you envision for yourself, what you're trying to manifest, that energy is not gonna support you in that, right? Think about the life that you're envisioning for yourself. What type of relationships are you in? What type of dynamics? You know, this makes sense. This, you're going to stay because I swear that this time I'll take care of you. You're going to stay. I'll do everything to make you fall in love. I always knew. I said, okay. So for some of you, there's this idea that you are holding on so much to, for some of you, this is relationship, right? This could be any type of relationship. But for some of you, you're holding on so much to some type of relationship or dynamic where you're like, I promise I'll love you more. I promise I'll do more. There's not more for you to do. You've done everything. You've done everything already. You've balanced your time and energy to take care of whoever it is that this is talking about. You know, and this could be multiple situations as well. And it's telling you, like, you're shifting out of that, right? Like, you're realizing this is what you're receiving, right? This is that new energy, right? We're replacing. Energy can't be created or destroyed. We're letting go of this energy, bring this one in. You're replacing it with, I am beautiful and I am worthy. You are, I think, you know, some of you might have already gone past this, or maybe it's happening now, but you're coming into this energy in August. Oh wait, no, we're talking about August. So, but yes, I meant like this situation. It could have happened long ago, or it could be happening now. But for August, it's stepping into this energy of, I am worthy, I am beautiful. Like, really taking a good look at yourself, mirror work, and saying, like, I deserve what I want. I deserve more, right? It's not that you're saying someone's unworthy. It's that I deserve what I want. I deserve better. Like, what is it that you want to manifest? What's the life that you envision for yourself? Like, picture yourself in the life that you want. And okay, so I just dropped another message. It was about your highest timeline. And it's about, like, what is holding you back from that timeline. I think you should listen to it because it goes really well with this. It's this idea of, you know, you're stepping into this, you know, I am worthy of affection, of love, of everything I desire. You know, I am beautiful, I am radiant, I am this unique, loving, amazing person, because you are. Put yourself on a pedestal, not because you're above people, but because you deserve to be worshipped, right? By yourself. Worshipped from yourself, loved from yourself. Fill your cup, right? You deserve to see yourself that way, respected and loved and worthy and worshipped, right? Because you're an amazing being. Anyway, you're stepping into this energy. And that's why it's important for you to let go of this role of, I must care for everyone around me and be the only one, right? It should be an energy exchange. It should be equal. And this reserve, right? It was talking about, you know, it has water, it reserves water, it travels, you know, and it's very intentional with its resources, tools. It's this idea of, where are you placing your energy, right? We talked about the energy drain, the manifestation, paying attention to your thoughts, your feelings, situations. Really take a good look of your life. In your relationships, what connections are draining you? When you just think about this person, you get anxious, you get drained. You're like, oh, I don't want to talk to them. Maybe they're calling you and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to them. I feel really, what are they going to say? Maybe I'm upset. Maybe when you hang out with this person, they're very, maybe they're very negative. Maybe they're always bringing you down. Maybe they always have drama in their life. You know, it's like, for someone that always has something going on, always has something to talk about, and not in a healthy way. They're just like constantly talking about their lives and how it's never getting better. Like that energy is very draining, right? Because you're not like that. I think that's important for you to realize is, you may be thinking like, I'm not going to find other people like that, because that's just not how it is. You're like that. Like, what I mean you're like that is, you're healthy. You express yourself. You know, you may ask permission or consent when you're like, hey, like, can you listen to me? Like, I'm feeling triggered, or I have something on my mind. Like, can you listen? Like, you're not one of those people that, you know, dumps their trauma and problems and their you know, that energy on others without asking, right? You make choices for yourself because you know it'll support you, right? Like, you're not in that group of people that are constantly repeating the same patterns and notions and getting themselves stuck in the situation over and over and over again and then complaining about it, right? That's the part what it is. It's one thing to be in patterns and not be aware, right? I mean, that in itself is something. But to continuously choose, maybe they go to you for advice and you're like, hey, you keep doing this one thing, you keep seeing this type of person, you keep doing this, why don't you change? I mean, that's easier said than done, but you know what I mean? It's like, they know, right? But they still choose, and they still complain, and they still have these toxic situations, right? That's the type of energy where it's like, do you want this in your life? You don't have to be the person to take care of them, to save them. You're not their saving grace, right? They might say like, oh, I need you. You're the only one that listens to me. You're the only one that supports me. Like, you're my only family. Like, I'm getting, for some of you, this is just a lot. It's draining, right? It's draining. And if you are such a loving, caring person, you're like, well, they need me. I need to help them. You can see them as an adult, right? We're talking about adults here. They're going to survive, right? If you stay in this energy, you're not going to be able to thrive. You're going to save in this survival energy, right? You want to thrive, not survive. People are in survival mode, right? They're making choices to survive. It's based on triggers and traumas, right? And that's okay. That's where they're at. You want to thrive. That's where you are. You want to manifest. You've healed. You've done work. You work on yourself, right? You're making different choices. And to do that, you need to reserve your energy. Really take a look at your energy. Maybe be a hermit. I'm getting hermit vibes. It's really taking an honest look at your life. It's not just people and connections. It's, what food is draining me. When I eat out all the time, when I eat fast food, I realize that I sleep half the day. Like I'm drained, something like that. Or every time I eat a loaf of bread, whatever, pasta, I feel so full and I can't do anything the rest of the day. Just pay attention to that. And then it's like, well, then shift, move it, right? It's like, trust your intuition, trust your body. Maybe take a peek at pile 1, but it's like, trust your intuition, trust your body. It's just because you've been doing something one way doesn't mean you have to keep doing it, right? If you keep feeling lethargic after certain activities, after certain foods, after certain people, you can pay attention to that and say, hey, there's a pattern here. Let me try something else. Let me try something that makes me feel better and see if that shifts things, right? Be the camel, reserve your energy, be very intentional with all the resources and tools and your energy on where you're going to get you to where you want to go, right? And this is what you're coming into, which is what I was talking about, the I am beautiful, I am worthy. The I am worthy with 3, it reminds me of, 3 of Cups tarot. It's, I am worthy of being celebrated. I am worthy of, happy relationships, supportive relationships. I am worthy of, sisterhood, brotherhood, peoplehood, not genderhood, just groupshood, connection. And I deserve to feel that equal exchange, right? You are pouring into your connections, your relationships. You deserve someone that also does the same. And you guys, you deserve an equal balance, right? It's this idea of, I had a high school teacher that told me, I want to, this example is coming to me, so I have to share it. I love sharing this example because it's stuck with me since high school. So if you think of relationships, right? A connection between you and someone else, it doesn't matter what type. You guys are both cups of M&Ms, right? There's 2 cups here, M&Ms. And there's different types of dynamics, right? In a very healthy dynamic, this cup has its own life, this cup has its own life. It's continuously exchanging M&Ms with other people, other experiences, right? The M&Ms are constantly being refreshed. Same thing with this cup. They have their own life, experiences, they're constantly refreshing their M&Ms. And then when they're together, they share, right? They're sharing M&Ms as well. So it's a constant refreshment of M&Ms together and out. That's healthy, right? That's what you want. That's what you want. For the ones stuck in this, there's a couple other dynamics. There's a dynamic where you only stay with each other, right? You get so caught up, codependent with each other. You're only with each other. You don't have other lives, right? You don't see other people. You don't have a lot of experiences by yourself. So you just share with each other and you share the M&Ms. So after a while, it gets stale, right? Actually, maybe you should watch group 1, maybe pile 1, pile 2. I talked about a stale relationship actually. So that's probably what it is. Oh, I wish I gave this example to group 1, but whatever. So you share, constantly share, and the M&Ms are very stale. Very stale. That's an unhealthy dynamic, right? You're going to be, both of you are stale M&Ms. It's not helping anyone. So you're stuck with that stale. So that's one dynamic. Another dynamic is this person has their own life. They're constantly refreshing their M&Ms, other people, experiences. This one relies on this one. This one does nothing. When I say does nothing, I just mean they don't have their life, right? They stay home. They're like, oh, I only need you. Like, I like spending time with you. I only need you. I don't really need to do anything else, right? So they stay home or whatever. It doesn't have to be home, but they don't really have much interaction with other people, experiences, whatever. So this person is constantly having refreshed M&Ms and shares with their partner. So they share together, right? And this partner is getting refreshed every so often, but it's still mixed with a lot of the stale because they only have stale. This one is so refreshed originally, but now they get a lot of stale M&Ms, right? So this one's barely holding on, but it's benefiting, right? Because the freshness. This one, it's bringing down, right? It's like, oh yes, you need to watch pile 1. It's like, don't fix something that's not broken. It's this idea of this might not feel as bad as the both stale and you're like, oh, this is okay, right? Like, I'm still refreshed-ish, but I have stale. Like, no, you're not thriving. You're stale now. Like, you're being brought down by this person. You're being chained. You're being brought down. You're not shifting forward, right? You have staleness in you. You can't keep that up forever, right? And that's what it is. It's like, you don't need to keep juggling other people and having them rely on you. Like, they should have other connections. They should have other experiences to help themselves out, right? You don't need to be the emotional support for this person. Sorry. Anyway, you're worthy, you're beautiful, right? And also, like, pour into yourself, love yourself. You're so busy taking care of other people, situations, work, you know, other responsibilities. It's this also idea, it doesn't have to be relationships. I know that was what I talked about, but that's just because that's what came through. But it's just this idea of you're prioritizing everything, right? You're balancing everything, except for important, though, that you are a priority. Like, yes, balance yourself with the rest, but you should be a priority, right? Love yourself, fill your cup, so that you can, whatever's left over, you will give to others, right? Like, don't fill your cup up just enough so that you're barely going, so you can give what, you know, crusty love you have left. Fill it so much so you're overflowing and people can get after that, right? All right. Yes. But it's about energy and vibration, right? Whatever you want to manifest, like I said, envision it, be in that vibration, feel that vibration, and then everything in your life currently that doesn't match that vibration, start shifting and letting go slowly, like, honestly, because it's not what you envision. And you can have what you envision because you deserve to, because that's the life you deserve and get. All right, let's look at the quality activity you can do to integrate this healing, this knowledge, this learning. Fill on the ground, and we got, oh, beauty. Yes, that makes sense. So yeah, this is a lot of self-love, pouring into your cup. Do things that make you feel beautiful, right? And beauty is in everything, right? This isn't gendered. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel inspired? What lights you up? What makes you feel like really high vibration? Like, what makes you feel passionate and excited? For some people, it will be makeup, whatever gender you are. Some people it will be makeup, you know, wearing that new eyeshadow or lip gloss or whatever, just to enhance, right? This isn't about like covering yourself because you're trying to hide. It's just enhancing because you're like, oh, you know what? I like that bright color. It makes me feel good. Then do it. If it makes you feel good, do it, right? Wear your hair differently if you want to. If you want to change your hair, whatever. If you want to wear it down or up, whatever makes you feel inspired, right? Whatever makes you feel beautiful. Like, some people might say like, oh, appearances, like, I don't have time for that. But why? Love yourself. This isn't about like you need to spend hours on it, but like you can just be intentional. Like, hey, I'm gonna wear this outfit today because it makes me feel so good. It makes me happy. Maybe it's my favorite character, you know, something like that. Just spending intentional effort because you deserve to, right? You deserve to have intentional effort spent on yourself just so that you feel better. And this can mean like anything, like putting some lotion on just because it makes your skin feel good, wearing jewelry or whatever, maybe showing your tattoos because it just makes you feel special, you know, doing anything that lights you up and to fill your cup. And mirror work too, like looking at the mirror, honestly, like looking at the mirror. If you don't do this already, do it. And if it embarrasses you, like, that's something to work on, right? Like, you should be able to look at the mirror, look at yourself and be like, wow, I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I'm radiant. I'm handsome. I'm cute. You know, anything. I'm a siren. That's what you should say. I'm a cosmic siren. I'm a siren. Cosmic siren. That's what I say. All right, and then let's just get some closing messages from your higher self. Oh, actually, I wanted to get to this. Yeah, I mentioned this before, but there's a tiny message for some of you, just a tiny one. Not a tiny message. I meant like this is very specific, so this might not hit for all of you. But some of you are questioning a relationship in your life. Like you regret it, right? Like you didn't speak your feelings, you didn't share for whatever reason, right? Maybe you thought it was in your head. You thought people would think you're crazy. That's a soul connection. Watch my, what was the podcast? It was, watch my podcast called Soul Connection. It talks about that, but it's just a small message of when you meet certain people, like there's just this really like expansive connection that you haven't felt before, right? Maybe some of you have felt it before, but you know, it's this instant connection, instant trust. You feel right at home. Like usually you have to build this with someone, but it's instant, right? You just feel a longing for this person and you're confused. You're like, wait, what's going on? I feel like you might feel like you already love this person or you've already known this person forever. And that's because your souls are familiar with each other. You don't have to think you're crazy. You don't have to think it's in your head. You can trust your feelings. Like never think that, right? Trust your feelings. And you can give it space if you want. Like it doesn't matter how much time you guys spend together. Even when you're apart, you can feel their energy. You can feel they're always around you. You're thinking about them. Like you can trust that. Anyway, that was a small message for somebody. All right. Messages for group 2's higher self. And we got what needs mending. Comfrey. Ooh. And you know, these butterflies here, their wings are torn, right? Like some of them transformed and flew, but something happened and it stopped them from flying and flying out to where they want to go, flying as high as they possibly can, right? Maybe something like this relationship, it's something had hurt them, something held them back, and we're going to read about it. All right. This is from my Herbiary new deck I want to read from. I really like these messages. Page 100. What needs mending? Comfrey loves to mend skin, bone, soil. There's so much to do. She dives deep, magicking molecules, rebuilding broken chains, restacking cells into tissue and tissue into muscle. This is joyous work for Comfrey, so she tends to work quickly, sometimes too quickly. Her boldness can border on recklessness, and in her mad scientist exuberance, she can get ahead of herself and forget first steps. Comfrey is a reminder to work systematically, starting with the deepest layers and working your way out. Even creative endeavors need to be built on a solid foundation. If Comfrey appears, ask what needs mending, and then pause to assess a plan before diving in. Ritual. The flip side of mending is breaking. We're trained to appear strong and often feel guilt or shame when we break, but unmaking is as much a part of the cycle as making, and breaking can be incredibly liberating. If you swung a sledgehammer during a home renovation project, you know this is true. Find something you can safely smash, hurl, stomp on, or pummel. Do it. Allow yourself to scream. Nothing like that in your house. Beat up your bed with a pillow. Reflection. It's easier to break something than it is to repair it, and yet there's a rare release in breaking, in dissolution, that we seldom let ourselves feel. Think of the caterpillar that turns into DNA soup during its time in the cocoon so it can emerge as a butterfly. What if you knew without a doubt that you could break and be remade? What if you could find joy in the breaking? What possibilities might this open up in you? When real metamorphosis has begun, we run into a welter of dissolving experiences. We may feel that everything is falling apart, that we're losing everyone and everything. Dissolving feels like death because it is. It's the demise of the person you've been. I think that's a great reminder of the death card transformation and this energy of letting go what doesn't serve you, which, you know, death card, it's like you have to, so this is my rendition of the death card. It's this person turning into this cosmic siren. It's this ego death, right? It's like you are continuously letting go of the person that you think you were, right? Yeah, definitely watch Pile 2 because it talks about like traditions and notions and whatever. And just because you spent so much time being some way, doing something, doesn't mean that that's how it should be, right? But it's this idea of, you know, letting go of this role, this perspective that you have for yourself of what you've always been. You've always been this support and this clutch for people, you know, whatever. But letting that go and deciding, like, who do you want to be? You know, you're worthy, you're beautiful, you have a life that you envision yourself, and you deserve that, right? So what energies do you need to let go of? What energies are harming you? What energies are not letting you take flight, right? And finding this, it's gonna feel like things are leaving, right, dissolving, like you're losing people, you're losing things, you're losing situations. But in order to make room for what you deserve and to receive, you have to let go and make room. If all of this is still here in you, thoughts, perspectives, patterns, people, jobs that don't serve you, if that's all taking room in your heart, in your energy, in your awareness, you have no room for what you deserve, right? So let that go. Let it go so this can heal, so you can fly. And you might have multiple cocoons in your life, right? Multiple transformations, right? Okay. Well, that is all the messages that I have for you. Thank you so much for connecting with me. If you want to continue connecting with my energy and being part of the collective, please continue to subscribe and go ahead and click the bell notification so you know when I upload a new video. And please like or comment and let me know what resonated for you, what didn't, so I know how it worked out in your life. I'm sending you guys a lot of love. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and sending you warm wishes and soothing hums. Hi, Group 3. This is your messages and guidance for the month of August, the Cosmic Siren Way. We will be looking at your general theme for the month and healing. We'll look at the cosmic creature for you to connect with so that you can shift your way of living for this next month. We'll look at the energies to let go of, what energies you'll be receiving, and then we'll just look at some general messages for how to integrate this energy and messages from your higher self. And so I rolled the die for you guys and you got 18. And your song that I shuffled my playlist, and your song was Adore You by Khalid. It's one of his new songs, actually. I recommend you should listen. And the message is, when we touch, ride, we should just float. If you can fly, we should just, do you trust in me like I do? I mean, it makes more sense when you sing it, but you can listen to it. But I'll put this to the side for now, and your number was 18, in case that's significant for you. And we got Rainbow Dragon. Okay, for some reason I thought this was gonna come out for somebody, for one of the groups, so it did. We're gonna read from the guidebook a little bit for that. I really like this. You know, for a Rainbow Dragon, there's this idea of, you know, like a lot of people will say like we need to slay or destroy our inner dragons, right? But there's this other perspective that I enjoyed, that I learned from one of my mentors. We don't want to slay our inner dragons, right? The dragon's there for a reason. It's our voice. It's one of our voices, right? When we go up to this dragon, you know, what fears are we having? What's this dragon afraid of? You know, why did it feel like it needs to protect? Why does it need to feel like it's so fierce? Like, what are the fears behind this dragon? And connecting with the dragon, you don't want to slay it, right? You want to listen to it, right? Connect with those fears and befriend it, listen to it, give it a voice, and accept it, embrace it, right? Like, if you saw this rainbow dragon in life, like, would you really want to slay it? It's that idea of, you know, in Avatar Last Airbender, it's like, you know, there's those two dragons that are hidden in the mountains, in those mountain cave things, and because people tried to slay them just for honor or glory or whatever, but it's like, dragons are such beautiful beings, and they're misunderstood, right? But anyway, I'm gonna read from the guidebook, and there's this also the chakras, so something about chakras. Energy, shifting energy, moving energy. All right, let's see. Be honest with yourself and others, release your burdens. Floating within the golden ascension rays, the rainbow dragon is making you aware of what is required for you to act in truth and honesty. Bringing the vibration from the golden ray, the rainbow dragons opens connections to your higher self, the central sun, and angelic and ascended master realms while centering you in the present. Through the dragon's movements, the frequency and vibration of the rainbow spectrum dissipates negative blocks and karmic debris, but only if you are willing to accept the change required to break down walls and barriers that stop you from moving forward. Connecting to the elements, the dragon is here to assist you in raising your vibration and consciousness through the energy of the elements. Right now, honesty is required in all areas of your life. When you begin to unburden yourself, you allow yourself to be open to the gifts of the universe. Now is the time to get busy. Great. And then there's certain colors, you know, if you're attracted to, there's certain things to work on, and we can talk about that in a little bit. I said the chakras, so yeah. All right, I'm gonna take the rest of the cards just so we can get a better picture of what's going on, and then we'll go over the reading. So look at the cosmic creature for you to connect with, their way of living in life. 3. The bear. Oh, let me move this. This is L, isn't he cute? All right, let's move this. Okay, so got bear. And then we're gonna look at the energy that you're letting go of for August. Energy is letting go of. I was only supposed to take one, but we'll just take all of these. Okay, let's see. Let's move that over there. I don't really know how these were, so we're just gonna do that. Okay, and then we'll look at the energy you are receiving coming into for this next month. I am blessed and I'm good enough. Okay. So I think the bear goes with the rainbow dragon well. It's that, I told you again, that idea of, you know, the fears that you've had, like these are wounds, right? It's what gave you that hard exterior. What gave you that, what has influenced you to, you know, appear stronger than how you're feeling or looking, right? There's nothing wrong with being strong, but it's this idea of, again, like what inner wounds, what fears are you having? And being honest with that, like looking at your pain and your hurts, right? And this idea of, you know, and not reacting, right? Sometimes if someone says something or there's a situation or something, we can react instead of really like think and contemplate and just like open our hearts up and be vulnerable, right? We can react because maybe we're a little defensive or we want to appear strong, and there's some hurt and pain there that we're not acknowledging, that we're not connecting with, right? And we're not being vulnerable with. For the bear, like, for how to like move forward and shift your energy for August, it's this idea of, you know, with the rainbow dragon as well, it said, you know, taking a look at your fears, your hurts, your pains, like, you know, just taking some time and figuring out like, what are the areas of your life or like the ways you show up where you are tougher than you need to be, right? It's like, what parts of yourself, like what, how do I say this? It's like, we can appear like very, okay, there's a siren, let me wait. Okay, but it's this idea of pay attention to when you're with others, because usually when with ourselves, it doesn't come out, right? We have to be influenced by someone else's energy or communication, the way they speak or talk or the way they treat us to really like reflect back on ourselves on some old wounds, right? Like it's hard for us to feel triggered on our own, right? Usually like we have to be with others to feel triggered, because it's just a message of things for us to heal. So what I'm saying is, when you're out and about, when you're connecting with others, when you're in situations and you feel yourself like toughening down, like toughening up or whatever, like if you feel yourself, instead of being vulnerable, you're like acting tough, or you're like, oh, I need to protect myself, oh, I'm being defensive, like just look at that, look at those areas and think why, right? There may be some areas or situations where it's easier for you to be vulnerable and for you to admit your pain and hurt, and there might be others. There might be other situations from your past, triggers, traumas, that it's not easier for you to do, right? You cover it up with boldness or aggression, or not that you're aggressive, but you know what I mean, like a tough exterior. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to when you feel that burden in your chest, or like you feel your body tense up. That's what I mean. Like pay attention to those moments, because those are the moments, those are the areas that is a message for you to look on there's something there that still needs to heal. There's something there for you to look at. Like I said, it's that dragon energy of, you don't need to try and control it or slay it or force it to go away. You want to say like, hey, I feel myself getting tense. I feel myself getting a little defensive. I feel myself getting this way. Instead of leaning in and being more open and vulnerable, let me take a look at that, later when you have time. But the way of the bear, the bear's very protective, right? Of those around them, their home, their environment, but also like can be very powerful and grounding in its own sense, right? They aren't looking for trouble, necessarily. They're not looking to fight, right? They're just connected with their home and their environment, and they're just this big, grand, stabilizing force. And it's just this idea of being grounded. I think the chakras are going to go with that. It's in this next month, it's, look at those pains and hurts when you're feeling that tough, when you're feeling that tenseness, so that you can, think about that and heal. But also, what are ways to ground yourself in that moment and in general, right? Pay attention to what you're feeling. In that moment, when you're feeling that tenseness, for you to like put on that hard exterior, where are you feeling it in your body? We're going to go through the chakras now. Like, I'm going to go from bottom up. If you feel something like in your legs, in your groin, that's your root chakra. So I'm feeling unsafe. I'm not feeling secure, right? I'm feeling unbalanced. That's for you to look at. If you're feeling it like more in your gut, like below your belly button, that's sacral, it's, is something, are you feeling like shameful about like sexuality? Are you hiding your femininity? And this is all gender, right? Like it's just divine femininity is something like extinguishing your creativity, is something not letting you move intuitively. Is it forcing you into like a rigid structure? And then solar plexus between your ribs and your belly button. Am I not feeling worthy? Am I not feeling enough? Do I feel powerless? Do I feel like I can't do something, right? If you feel it in your chest, your heart, are you feeling unloved? Like, are you not open to giving and receiving love? Are you feeling unloved right now? Is something wounding your inner child? If you feel your throat tense up, what truth are you not speaking? Are you hiding your voice? Are you not able to express yourself? Do you feel not listened to, not heard, not seen? That could be heart as well. I mean, all of these, right? If you feel it like, maybe like a headache, like your forehead, or your eyes are tense, something like that. Are you not trusting your intuition? Are you not trusting the messages that are meant to find you? Are you blocking yourself? Are you dismissing your own intuition? Are you pushing it down? Are you moving in a way that's against like the life that you envision for yourself? And sometimes like another headache, like, or your head is pounding, or you feel like a heavy head. If you feel it like at the top, are you closing yourself off to connection. Like, do you feel like disconnected? Do you feel just like blah? Like, I'm disconnected. I don't feel anything like from anyone. I don't feel the universe. I don't feel those around me. I don't feel like I'm connected to anything outside myself. I don't feel, right? It's just, that's like a bigger source of connection. And depending on where you're feeling this tenseness, where you're feeling these feelings, it could be multiple things as well. It's like, take a look at that, but like also do some healing work with that specific chakra, right? And its colors, right? So start from the bottom to top, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Okay. Let's look at what you're letting go of. 6 of Wands, Ace of Coins, and 2 of Swords. So this kind of goes into the idea of, there are these, what is on her? Oh, that's jewelry. I was like, what is that? There's this idea of, you know, feeling like mental conflict again. It's like what I said earlier about the chakras. It's, you might be like stuck between decisions, right? And you're like, do I choose that path or that path? Like, which way's right, which way's wrong? There's no right or wrong, right? Just aligned. And you have to trust your intuition, right? You can't close off your intuitive nudges. There's no right or wrong. It's just what path you feel into, what you feel supported by. And you're letting go of this like mental anguish and conflict, right? It's like overthinking. It's like overthinking pain sometimes. It's like, you know, like, depending on a situation we have, right? We can replay it over and over again in our heads. And we're like, oh, should I have done this? Should I have done that? You know, what could I have done differently? And it's like you're missing, like, yes, like you can think about the whys and what have you, and, you know, maybe what other choices you can make that feel more aligned, yes. But what's really important is the source, right? Whatever this mental anguish is, whatever this pain, you know, if we're talking about this, the trauma, what's the source? Like, as she's like contemplating which sword to use, there's like this, you know, it's like this, the sea serpent in the back, the Hydra, whatever, in the back, wreaking havoc. And then there's like a little whirlpool. And it's like, which one is like the lesser evil? Should I go into the whirlpool or should I defeat this monster? But it's like, it's just this idea of, I feel like, you know, I feel like instead of thinking this is evil, it kind of reminds me of the dragon here. Like, maybe it's just a multi-headed dragon. But instead of trying to like silence the dragon, right? Instead of trying to like defeat it, like I said, you want to connect. So that's what you're letting go of. Like overthinking. Overthinking and not listening, right? You're letting go of that. You want to feel, right? You want to connect with the water. You want to connect with your intuition. You want to connect with your feelings. And not feeling like pressured to make a quick decision, right? You might be like busy in life, you know, we all have different priorities, situations, things going on, and you may feel like in the moment when you are having this reaction, this tough exterior, or even in general, when you're just doing that, living day by day in general, feeling pressured to just like keep it under wraps, like keep it hidden. And you don't have to do that, right? You're letting go of that. You want to instead connect with your intuition, connect with your feelings, and really go to the source and say, hey, why is this hurting me? Because you deserve to, right? You deserve to listen to yourself. You deserve to listen to your inner child. You deserve to connect with yourself and say, hey, I feel hurt. I feel pain. Where is this coming from? What happened in my life? That was the source. Like, you know, trace it back. I'm like, okay, I hear you. I see you. That was painful. I get it. That makes sense. What can I do moving forward? How can I soothe myself? And that's why I said go through the chakras. And it goes, again, well with the Six of Wands. Like, you're letting go of this triumphant energy. It's like this person, like, conquered, right? They conquered everything. They're successful. They fought through, but you're letting go of that, right? You're letting go of that warrior energy. Like, not letting go of being a warrior, but you're letting go of being seen as this, like, very tough warrior exterior, right? You don't have to be this person. You don't have to keep letting yourself be that way. Like, yes, like, you want to embrace, you know, what you've been through and beautifully, like, live with your scars, right? Like tiger energy, like, you know, we beautifully embody everything that we've gone through. But you don't want to have to, like, be seen as this, like, person that slays everything left and right and have this, like, very hard exterior. You can let go and be vulnerable, right? There's a time and place, right? This is just the energy that's coming through. So whatever makes sense for you, you know, wherever that makes sense. This part, though, let's see. The Ace of Coins, reverse. For some of you, it will be, like, at work. Like, yeah, work, you know, we have to have a certain persona and, you know, things, but we can also, like, let go just a little bit, right? We don't have to have such, like, a hard shell over ourselves to prove that we are worthy, to prove that we are respectable, whatever that word is. But we don't have to keep proving ourselves and thinking that we have to be this bear, this dragon, the Six of Wands at work, right? There is a balance. There's a balance between being strong and dependable and also connecting with our emotions, our feelings, and being honest, like, hey, what you said, like, kind of hurt my feelings. Could you not say that anymore? Or, you know, something like, it's like some people might, like, bring stuff up all the time, or they might poke at you. You can just, like, set boundaries, like, hey, I don't like when you say that. Can you stop? I'd like you to stop. Actually, not can you. Hey, I don't appreciate when you bring this up. I'd like you to stop moving forward. You know, things like that. That can be uncomfortable for some people. But, you know, instead of, like, reacting or being hard, because they might not know, right? They might not know how much it hurt you because you stand so strong, right? You stand so firm in it. They might not have any idea. Like, yes, they should be aware of whatever this message is coming through, whatever someone has said to you, like, they should be aware, right, of their own words and actions. But, you know, it's important that we share that, like, hey, don't do that anymore. It does hurt, you know? You might just not be as expressive, maybe. Like, people might not realize how hurt you are just because you are not well put together, but, you know, maybe you have a Capricorn rising. It's just like you look so maybe stoic, or like it doesn't faze you, but honestly you are hurting, right? And you don't want them to say or do those things anymore. And this can apply not at work, anything, anywhere, right? Any situation, any, like, new investment you're making, any new connection you're making, right? Anything you're trying to build on. This also is important for some of you when you're building new connections, when you're investing, like, new time and energy into people. You want to start off like this already, where you're saying, like, you want to start off on the right foot, right? You want to build. It's harder, like, when you have been in a relationship for so long and they keep having these habits, and, like, yes, you should let that go. But when you're starting new relationships and people, you need to show them how you want to be respected and treated in the relationship from the start. So when you're meeting new people, building something, investing in something, and they say something or do something, correct them, right? Because they will be thankful for it too. Like, you need to show people how to treat you, because people won't know, right? You can say, hey, I don't appreciate when you talk to me like that. Can you change your tone? Like, it makes me feel more comfortable. Or, hey, I don't like when you bring up my past exes. It hurts me. Can you stop? Like, you have to let people know how to treat you, because it's kind of like a child, right? Not that these are children, but you need to tell a child how to work and do and live the way of life, because they don't know, right? When we meet people, like, yeah, there's basic standards, but everyone's a little different. Everyone wants different things. Everyone wants to be different love languages. Everyone wants to connect differently. Like, you need to show people, connections, new situations, how to treat you, right? But let go of that hard exterior, you know, overthinking if it's okay for you to be hurt. Like, yes, of course it's okay for you to be hurt. Your feelings are valid. Don't overthink it. Just feel through it. And don't try to slay it. Just connect with it. And then you can figure out later, like, what do you want to do about it, right? Like, how you want to move forward, how to soothe yourself in the moment, but also how to heal through it so it doesn't hurt so much anymore, right? And letting go of this idea that you have to be this way, you have to appear this way in order to build and connect with people and to be seen as someone worthy of their time and effort and energy, right? And this is what it comes good to. I'm good enough, right? Like, this is the energy you're coming into. I'm good enough. You are good enough as you are. Everything about you. You are good enough, period. Yes, we're always working on ourselves. We're always trying to improve ourselves, but we're still good enough. You don't have to be something you're not. You don't have to change. You don't have to be this hard person. You don't have to overthink and like accommodate other people. You're good enough as you are. People will like you as you are. People like your unique energy. People like that you're this unique combination of colors, of your flavor, your personality. Like, you are good enough. You are wanted. All your quirks, everything that you think is, I don't know, you don't enjoy, whatever, that's what people enjoy. That's what they like. Whether that's physically, you know, this person has freckles and glasses and curly hair, which is cute. But, you know, they like all of that. Whatever it is. You don't have to change and be something you're not. You don't have to hide yourself. Oops. My bad. Oh, maybe 18 is significant because we got 2 18s here, so. I am blessed. Being the energy you're receiving, like, we can get caught up, right? Like, thinking about what's going wrong, everything that's going, not that you are, but, you know, we can get caught up on things that go wrong in our life, things that we are lacking, right? We have this life that we envision for ourselves, and we can think like, oh, I don't have this, this, and that. But you're coming into this energy of like, wow, I have so many things. I'm so blessed. I have these connections that make me feel so supportive, so loved. I have these connections that make me feel seen and heard, where I can be vulnerable, express myself, be genuine. I have, you know, this career, this role where I'm able to pay my bills and put food on the table. I'm able to, you know, eat the things that I want to eat, listen to the music that I want to listen to. I have so many choices and opportunities in life. I'm able to travel. I'm able to see the world, you know, whatever it is. But this energy you're receiving is, you know, think about like all the things that you do have and realize like how blessed you are to have all those things. Like, yes, we can always improve things, but just gentle reminders of why you're so thankful in your life. Let's get back to this. So some of you, when you touch right, we should just flow, we should just, do you trust in me like I do? Yes. So there's a couple of messages. So for some of you, this is a very specific relationship. I'm gonna get to the other interpretation after that, but it's this idea again of like getting out of your thoughts, like feeling. It's, you know, when you're with this person, this connection, I don't know why these are all like about relationships, but when it doesn't matter what person this is. I mean, you know why? I mean, connection's so important, right? We're humans. We are all co-creating our own lives with the universe, right? We are all interacting with each other. Like, I don't think people realize like every single item in your home was created by a person. Someone had an idea. Someone, you know, had the funds. Someone like physically created something. Like, we're all working together. Like, even these tarot cards and oracle cards, like there could have been an artist, there could have been an author. Like, we're all working together. And now I'm using that in my own practice, in my own creativity. Like, we're all connected. This desk, we are literally all connected. And that's why, like, I think relationships are so important, right? In general, like, we all, not that we need people, but we all like are so supportive of people. I think things are just about connection, right? It's about connecting, right? It's important that we connect with others, and to connect more deeply, you know, you got to step out of this and be more vulnerable. I've already talked about that. But for some of you, sorry, that was just, I don't know who message that was for. That was a quick message. But for some of you, you know, get out of your head. and just feel. When you're with this person, don't overthink it. Don't think like, what does this mean? What do I need to do? What's the next steps? How do they think of me? Just feel, like, just float in the energy that they like support you with. Float in the love, float in like the support, the high vibe. It just feels so good. And just experience. Don't overthink, right? When you're with whoever this person is, it doesn't matter what type of dynamic, it's just feel through everything. Like, feel it in your body and just say, hey, this feels really good and I want to keep spending time with this person, and then let go of the other ones that don't feel like that, right? And trust, right? And don't overthink, because this connection that you're feeling, this person like feels that way too, right? They're feeling connected too. Like, the connection, like, it connects both of you, right? Trust in each other. Trust that this person is feeling that too. Like, trust in them to continue to show up for you, and they'll trust you to continuously show up for them. That was a message for somebody. But this other message though, trust in me like I do. Like, that's what I was saying. Trust in your intuition, trust in your feelings. Like, get out of your head. Maybe watch group 2, because it's all about connecting with your body. Or was that group 1? No, it's group 2. Yeah, watch group 2, because it's all about connecting with your intuition, connecting with your body, connecting with your feelings more, right? Trusting in those intuitive nudges. Like, do you trust in yourself? Do you trust in the universe? Do you trust in yourself? It's also like trusting yourself to support yourself, right? I think a lot of people, they can be afraid, right, to sit in their thoughts, to sit in their feelings, honestly. I mean, thoughts people sit in, but to really like dive deep, and it can be a dark place, right? You have to go into your feelings, you have to feel through your feelings, you have to bear witness to your feelings, which could be very vulnerable for some people, even just by yourself. You have to connect with your feelings, your inner child, and like really like be like, wow, these are my fears, these are my traumas. For some people, that's really hard. They can't bear witness to that. And it's like, do you trust yourself to support and love yourself in that moment? You can do this, right? It's not scary, like just a little at a time. And if you need, professional help, support, a coach, a therapist, anything, or if you have like a trusted friend, you can connect with that friend and ask them like, hey, can I go over some thoughts with you? But it's just, you can trust yourself to get out of your thoughts into this exterior and face yourself. Do you trust yourself to face yourself, like to witness yourself? Because all of you is beautiful, right? You don't have to be like this. You don't have to only look at like the daring, positive sides of you that you love, right? Because you're lovable all as you are. Your fears, your triggers, that makes up who you are. It informs who you are. It informs what you've been through, your past. You can accept those parts of yourself because they're also beautiful, because they've gotten you to where you are now. You don't want them to affect you negatively in the future. So it's important that you do look at that so you can heal through it. Let's look at what you can do to integrate this energy. What group 3 can do to integrate this energy. Water. Yes, so water, feelings, connect. This compass, your intuition should be leading you, the compass. Water, connecting with your feelings, hydrate. So, water in general is important. You should be hydrated, we are mostly water, and make sure you're drinking, good water. You can set intention when you do, I don't know if any of you do Reiki. I was called to tell you, do your Reiki symbol under the water bottle, whatever. Gemstones in water, anything you want to do, you could just look at the water. But hydrate to nourish yourself, nourish your body. But also it's just this message of connecting with your feelings, right? Connecting, I told you, connecting with water, right? We have air, thoughts, fire, passion, earth. Water is all about feelings, your emotions. And maybe like, just an example, maybe just like a guide for you if you want. Like, first of all, you should be drinking like whatever your weight is, cut it in half, that number, and just put ounces at the end. So for example, I'm like 130 pounds, 120, I don't know, whatever I am, 130 pounds, let's say that. and then I cut it in half. Oh, I can't do math. 65. So 65 ounces. I should be drinking at least 65 ounces a day. And obviously that's going to change with your activity, right? Depending on how you move, you might need more, right? But at minimum. And honestly, like, if you don't want to measure, just look at your urine color. It should be very, very light yellow. Like very light, like almost water, like, or water, but very light. Like if it's dark, you're not drinking enough, you're not hydrated. Like get those kidneys hydrated. Anyway, this is about like purifying, right? Like purify water, energy. Water is energy, but also maybe every time you drink a cup of water, maybe that's a time to check in with yourself and just like, hey, how do I feel right now? Like, how am I doing? Like just like a quick little check. Maybe if that's too many times for you, at least once a day. It's just, you know, every time you drink water, do something for yourself, connect with yourself. And it's just a little bit at a time, right? Like you don't have to like dive deep into your past and trauma like this whole day, whole weekend, you know, whatever. It's just one little step. Like, hey, I'm feeling triggered. Where does this come from? Okay, I'm hurt because of this. Did this happen sometime in my life when I was a child? Okay, yes. Well, I'm saying it as if it's quick. I mean, you can do this quickly. You can download my free inner child healing practice. It's about 20 minutes. You can do that. That would be perfect. Or go on YouTube and look at something. Highly recommend. But drink water, nourish yourself, flush out everything. It's like flushing out those toxins, energy that doesn't serve you. Yeah, watch Pile 2 because I talk to them all about energy. Release what doesn't serve you. Hydrate yourself. And this is just nourishing yourself, right? You're connecting with yourself. You're connecting with your body. When you're drinking the water, just feel it go down your throat, through your body, and just like really feel through it. Just to slow down and connect, right? And yeah. All right, let's get some closing messages from your higher self. Chickweed. I've gotten this a couple times in my last readings. Start fresh. Chickweed. Written in the stars. Oh wait, no, it's rewrite the stars. Well, whatever. All right, so I'm gonna read from the guidebook from this one because the Herbiary is my new one, and I like what they have to say. I mean, I've read it a couple times by now, but all right, so. Chickweed sings of bright beginnings, welcoming you to your path. Her tiny star-like flowers whisper, it's time. Not sure you're ready? No worries. Gently, she'll break cells open, renewing energy in life. Chickweed reminds you wherever you are is a fine place to begin. She'll joyously demonstrate by tumbling from any possible place for new growth, from neglected farmstead flower pots to abandoned urban planters. She chips away at old ideas on a foundational level, opening your internal windows to let in fresh thoughts. Sloughing off what no longer serves. What's keeping you from making the changes you crave? Perhaps you've been hauling around slowly accredited insecurities or anger's quicksilver flame. See who you are without those burdens, she suggests, smiling as she guides you to begin. Notice the micro world. Like many tiny treasures, chickweed is easily overlooked. In honor of chickweed, spend time noticing the micro world. Sometimes it's the smallest things that make the biggest impact. Look for little stars. It's easy to figure out the best way to move forward when life gives you big, flashy signposts, but it can be harder when the path seems mundane and mapped by only the smallest of lights. Chickweed reminds you to look for the small lights. Her Latin name, Stellaria, means little star. What little stars are you ignoring as you search for floodlights and fireworks? What bright beginnings are moldering as you wish for something bigger? What is moldering? Is the trail unspooling at your feet while you have your eye on a distant horizon? That my complicated life could be made so simple is astounding. Yeah, I think that's just a good reminder of paying attention. Like, you know, the big flashy signposts, it's like, that's why I think, like, don't dismiss your feelings. I think if you grew up like with your feelings dismissed, like, you know, you weren't able to show certain emotions like anger, sadness, whatever, and they always told you to be quiet, what have you, you weren't able to express yourself, you might like have grown up and still do it or not, maybe you got past it, but it's just this idea of anytime you're triggered, anytime you're annoyed, you just dismiss it, like, oh, it's just an annoyance, oh, it'll go away. Like, it might not be a big enough sign for you. It's telling, like, slow down a little bit, like, connect with that. That's a small thing, not small. Don't dismiss your feelings, and all of your feelings are important. That's why I said, like, when you're feeling triggered, when you're annoyed, like, if you don't have time to process it because you're somewhere in public, I don't know, just write it down in your note and then do it later, in your phone note tab or whatever, and do it later. I think also it's saying like I said with the water, like it's just that idea of slowing down, connecting with the water, letting it fall through you. It's just that being intentional and connecting with yourself more. Connecting with those small signs. And you know, the stars, the constellations, it's another message of, you know, trusting in your intuitive messages, the magic. You know, we can be so caught up like looking at like the bigger picture, but like sometimes the small details and slowing down are very beautiful, right? Anyway, that was a little longer than expected, but that's okay. So that is all the messages I have for you. Thank you so much for connecting with me. If you want to continue connecting with my energy and to the collective, please continue subscribing. Click the notification bell so you know my upcoming videos when they release. And if you resonated with anything, let me know by comment below or like so I can see how that fit into your life. And as always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm sending you warm wishes and soothing hums. Bye.